Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. So that was a very interesting video that I just put up beforehand. I always want to make it known, okay, I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, a WWE fanboy. Now, in the end of the day, I will let my bias known. I will let everyone know, and I don't hide the fact. I do appreciate the WWE product a hell of a lot more than I do the AEW product, more in particular NXT. But at the same time, though, it's not as if it doesn't have its faults, and you have to be able to hold those faults accountable. You can't just go after AEW all the time. Yeah, they have more problems than WWE, that's fucking obvious. You know, clearly they're the worst show, in my opinion, out of all the three big shows, Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite. But at the same time, it's not as if SmackDown and Raw are perfect. They're absolutely not. And if you're going to highlight the metrics of one company, then you have to do it for the other. And obviously, if it seems like the consistent problem is obviously the same thing that affects the other company, then you have to call it out. Like, that's just facts. I'm not going to be biased and then sit here and just completely go after AEW every fucking chance I get and not at least once in a while notate something that's happening with WWE and call that out. You look at the ratings and you look at the viewership numbers this week, you can say football all you want to. Hey, you know what? Check out the other video. I'm not going to go in depth in this. We only got so much time. Let me talk about this real quick. So apparently, and this is, hang on for a second. Apparently, the Lucha Brothers are not going to be debuting in WWE anytime soon. So check it out. I know you guys don't like it when I source Dave Meltzer, but at the same time, it seems like at the very least he's close to the situation. So I'm willing to hear him out. A report from this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, by the way, link is down in the description box below, hold up. Goddamn ads. Every damn video. A report from this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter says that won't be until mid-2025 for Phoenix, as Tony Khan will be adding injury time to the High Flyers deal. Dave Meltzer writes that Phoenix's current contract will be extended by, and I quote, nearly but not quite 1 year, end quote, to account for the time he's missed, such as when he was out for, amazingly, just 3 months for a gruesome-looking 2022 arm injury. Penta, however, is expected to be a free agent within the next couple of months and is still said to be signing with WWE as soon as he can. While Khan made, and I quote, significant offers to both brothers, they passed. Penta apparently hasn't been happy with his AEW booking, and now he's been left off some shows due to the politics around AEW's partnerships with Mexico's two biggest promotions, AAA and CMLL. The Observer sources say WWE made Penta, and I quote, a competitive offer, so that solidified his decision to leave. It's not clear whether WWE will use Penta as a singles act while he awaits his brother's arrival. There's also no word on whether AEW will book Phoenix for the remainder of his extended deal. Both could find themselves paid to sit at home for the next several months. And that's pretty much the end of the article right there. And honestly, I know there's a lot of people who are going to be upset with this, but hey, I will say the same thing. It's quite funny how we just talked about this earlier, right? About keeping people and holding them accountable. I'm not going to lie to you. If Triple H or Vince McMahon did this to one of their talents before they went to AEW, I'd say the same thing also. Tony Khan is absolutely not in the wrong. He's not in the wrong. You signed the contract and you knew what you were getting yourselves into. You knew when you signed the contract there was going to be time tacked on if you were to get injured. If anything, this is kind of plausible, and this is a good thing for Rey Fenix for multiple reasons. One, kind of seems like Tony Khan sees you as a threat going over there as a tag team to WWE because they know how WWE is going to use you. That's one thing, so I take that as a compliment. And two, honestly, if you have any more nagging injuries or whatever the case may be, just chill. I mean, this is me assuming that Tony Khan is not going to use Rey Fenix. I mean, maybe he may use him, maybe he won't. I look at this in two ways. Either A, he uses him, hopefully to the fullest extent of his ability, and maybe there might be a way for you to kind of, I don't know, do whatever you can in this next couple of months to change Rey Fenix's mind and want to stay with the company. Or, you know, in the case of Rey Fenix, sit home and make a bunch of goddamn money and heal up whatever nagging injuries you have left and, you know, train and get yourself into a position where you're going to be used to a better extent when time you come to WWE. In the case of Penta, you know, it's good for him also. You know, who knows? I mean, maybe there might be an opportunity or there might be a chance. It sounds like he's signed with WWE already. Maybe he might come in, might be a singles act for a little bit somewhere in NXT, and then eventually when his brother comes, they might go to the main roster. Or he might go to the main roster, which I highly doubt him by himself. Well, who knows? Maybe he might go to the main roster by himself. I don't know what he's going to do, but it's not as if they don't have, an extra hour for SmackDown to account for. So it's not as if he doesn't go to SmackDown, he wouldn't have anything to do. I think people who are upset about this, I get why you would be upset just looking at, the nature of what's going on here. But at the same time, I think all parties win. Tony Khan isn't going to immediately lose Rey Fenix. There might be a chance where he can talk him out and maybe he can keep him in AEW. I highly doubt that, but you never know. He's not going to go immediately to WWE, so, that's a promise or at least a good thing for Tony Khan. In the case of Penta, there's an opportunity for him to make a name for himself, or maybe he sits in catering and makes a bunch of money and he waits for his brother to get here and he can, heal some of his nagging injuries. And in the case of Rey Fenix, if they use him, cool. Get some more time on you, build up your resume a little bit more, maybe make a little bit more money, or you set up the rest of your contract and you get to heal up all your injuries. I don't know. That's at least how I'm looking at this. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to how you feel about the situation. But if you think I'm going to shit on Tony Khan for this situation, nope. Wouldn't shit on Vince. Wouldn't shit on Triple H. So I ain't going to shit on Tony Khan for the decision. Good on him. And in my opinion, I don't see what's really the problem with all parties feeling the way that they feel right now. I mean, outside of Penta and Phoenix wanting to go to WWE immediately, that probably sucks. But hey, you signed the contract and you knew what you were getting yourself into. That's at least how I look at it. But with that being said, let's get into SmackDown. Okay, I'm just throwing this out there real quick. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but if I was about to, say, for an example, fight someone, right? Let's just hypothetically say this, right? And let's just say somebody I'm talking to, I'm having a conversation with, and that person that I'm about to fight comes and he fucking blasts that person directly in his fucking head and throws him all the way over the goddamn border. Would you put your mask on right in front of that guy who just took that other guy's head off? Because that's what Andrade just did right now when talking to LA Knight. You have LA Knight who's talking to some girl backstage, right? Then you have Andrade who pulls up on LA Knight. He's talking about the whole situation last week when LA Knight beat him and he refused to shake his hand. Andrade's like, where I come from, we shake our hand like real men, like the man that I'm married to. We shake hands. And LA Knight's like, he's about to say something, and then out of nowhere, fucking Carmelo Hayes comes and he blasts his ass from Timbuktu, and he's telling Andrade, I got something for that ass too. Come to the ring. Pause. And Andrade is like sitting there and he's putting his mask on. Now, I don't know who's the biggest idiot. Is it Andrade for putting his mask on while just watching this guy get blasted? Or is it Carmelo Hayes for not going over there and beating the dog shit out of Andrade when he put his mask on? See, I've been in fights in my life, right? And whenever someone gets in the hood, it's this dumb shit, bro. Where like, and I remember my uncle told me this shit too, and I did it when I was a kid. Never, bruh. Never. I haven't been in a fight in probably over a decade now. But whenever someone starts taking their shirt off, I'ma duke your ass up. Why you taking your shirt off? What you mean? What you mean? Bro, you taking your shirt off? I'ma scoop your ass. I'ma slam you on your shit. What the fuck? That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing this dude taking it, putting his, what the fuck? I'ma beat your ass while you doing that shit. What the fuck? But nevertheless, though, they're about to have a match right now. Let's revert back to the opener, right? I'm going to talk about Naomi and, actually, no, let's talk about Naomi and Bayley first, because the opener seems like something that'll probably be like the main thing that I want to talk about. Let's build up to that for a minute. So Naomi and Bayley, they have a good match. Now, there was like one or two hiccups, but that's what you come to expect with the women. For some reason, I don't know what the fuck is going on SmackDown, in particular SmackDown and Dynamite. Raw doesn't seem to have this problem all too much, and NXT, at least from the looks of it, they don't seem to have the problem all too much. For some reason on SmackDown and Dynamite, the women, they botch. Like, it has to be at least one botch in every fucking match, and it's because they're doing the most. Like, Bayley and Naomi, they were having a competitive match. It was all good. It was all fine. And then Bayley, she does this shit all the time, and it never works out, bruh. She tried the whole little fucking sunset flip. You know how she does a little sunset flip and she throws the opponent into the corner? She tried that shit on Naomi, and it botched again. And it's like, bro, I cannot remember the last time she actually hit that move perfectly. She does that shit all the time. She needs to retire that shit. And actually, the move that she does now, as far as a finisher, perfectly okay with that. Keep it simple. That whole little, what she calls it, the Divina or the Rose plant or whatever, that shit is lame. Okay, that shit is trash. That's a horrible fucking finish. It's a horrible setup. It's no different than, it's about as convoluted as Mercedes Moné doing her moneymaker finish. It's fucking dumb. Her doing the Bayley to Bayley or the Bayley to Belly and then setting up for like the Macho Man elbow drop, Perfectly fine with that. Now, granted, it doesn't have as much grace as the Macho Man elbow drop. Not to mention, on one hand, it's like I'm actually cool with the elbow drop finish, but then on the other hand, isn't that Kairi Sane's finish? And actually, Kairi Sane does it a billion times much better. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into this. I mean, whatever. It's a hell of a lot better than the stupid Rose Plant finish. But what actually caught my interest was what happened after the match, because Bayley won the match, but Naomi, she just kind of gave her a little pat on the shoulder, like, yeah, that was all good and dandy, but I kind of wanted to win that match, and I didn't win that match, and now I'm frustrated. But real quick though, before we get into the match, because I see it's about to come on right now, Naomi, after the match, as I was saying, I kind of cut myself out there for a minute, she looked like she was frustrated. And usually when you see frustration like that, it's like, kind of an inkling that someone's about to turn heel. I mean, maybe that might not be the case. Maybe everything may be copacetic, but I can't remember. I mean, was Naomi only a heel with Team Bad? Was that like her only heel run? I felt like she had another heel run, but I can't remember. But let's just hypothetically say that she is a heel, right? I'm just saying, like, she could be a heel. She could do her own thing. I don't see how Naomi being a heel and walking around by herself is going to be something that really, I don't know, like, gets the job done. Like, at least with people like MJF, for an example, right? He may be small in stature and he may be a heel, but MJF has the characteristics to use everything within his means in order to win a match. Not to say Naomi won't do that, but it's like, I always had a problem with MJF not having a heater outside of Warlow. But like I said, he has security guards, he's a sneaky heel, he runs around like a little prick, he does all these things that kind of make up for the fact that he's by himself, even though he's very small in stature and he's a heel, right? I cannot really see how Naomi is going to play that. Well, again, we'll see how it goes, but I am still interested nonetheless with Naomi being a heel. I mean, maybe if Nia Jax was, not the champion, maybe she could have been a heater for Naomi. Or if Jimmy didn't leave the bloodline, I wouldn't have a problem with Naomi, joining the bloodline. But then again, we're not necessarily saying that Jimmy, I guess one can say he got kicked out, but we still don't know how that story is going to play out. I mean, he did come back to the bloodline, even though he talked all that shit when he left and super kicked Roman last year. But we'll see how it's going to go. But I am very curious as to see how a Naomi heel turn is going to play out, if that's the direction that they're going to go into. Not to mention, don't forget, folks, it's been quite a while now. Charlotte, she's somewhere lurking in the show. She is lurking in the shadows right now. Woo! Keep your eye out for that also. They want to do that Queen versus Queen bullshit. They want to do that match. And now we get to the opener with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and Kevin Owens and the Bloodline, and we need something exciting to happen. Like, I want Roman to show up tonight. I want Roman to do something, bruh. Look, I get some of you guys are big fans of Cody Rhodes. I don't mind Cody Rhodes in the spot that he's in, but man, his title run, bruh, man, it's not fun. It's not a fun title reign, bruh, at all. This is a very, very boring title reign. I know some of you guys may feel different. We can all have our opinions. You have your opinion. I have my opinion. But Cody Rhodes ain't cooking as world champion. It's not to say that he doesn't fit the bill. It's not to say that he doesn't deserve it, just based off of the story that's been going on for the past couple of years now. And doesn't say that he doesn't deserve to be the top guy or the face of WWE. I don't even have a problem with Cody Rhodes per se. It's the people who are giving the creative to Cody Rhodes. You have to give this man better, something to work with, bruh. Now, obviously, he's going to face Roman Reigns, and that's all fine. Again, that's cool. But man, the main event tonight is going to be another Bloodline match versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. You know what I mean? No, it's Solo and it's Jacob Fatu. That's all good. But I would like to see something a little bit more funner. I feel like we've been seeing this for months now. You get what I'm saying? Like, just make it more spicy. We still got to wait and see how the main event is going to play out. But just make it more spicy, because this right here, I get Cody being the world champion. I can't be the only one who's looking at this and saying to himself also, right? Like, this, it's not that it's bad as far as the feud in itself, as far as matching up the people. It's not to say that the matches are even bad. It's just to say that Cody's been doing this for so long, and I just don't feel satisfied. Does that make any sense? I just don't feel satisfied with what he's bringing to the table. And it has nothing to do with Cody. It has everything to do with the creative. Just my opinion. Continuing on with the show. Man. Okay, so I got a couple things to say about this match of Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. Like, On one hand, I want to say that at least everything that they did, because I know some people will probably look at this and they'll say to themselves, damn, bro, this is the same kind of shit that I will get angry at that AEW does. 2 commercial break matches, yeah, that's unnecessary. I'm not going to sit here and, like I said, this has been a running thing that's been happening for the past couple of days now that I think I need you guys to understand, man. I can't stress this enough. I said it in the intro. I'm going to say it right here also, whether we're talking about the ratings, whether we're talking about the viewership numbers, I can't not say one thing about AEW and not give the same criticism to WWE when they do the same shit. Now, granted, like I said, it's not as egregious as AEW, because with AEW, it seems like they have exhibition matches with no story, with no purpose. There is purpose to this. I guess this is some makeshift best of 7 series, technically speaking. I get what they're trying to do with this. I understand what they're trying to do with this, but did it really necessitate to have 2 commercial breaks? Honestly, did it really necessitate that? I'm not even here to knock the match for what it was. I mean, granted, I'm not sure how Randy Orton feels about everybody doing this fucking cutter for the most part, multiple times. Seems like the cut is turning into the super kick or the new Canadian Destroyer, if you ask me. But it was a fine match, just it did not necessitate this. I would have rather them go like 5 or 6 minutes in the ring, get your shit in, and if you want to do another 7th match where it actually counts, where it actually matters, where there could be some stipulation probably on the line, then I'm okay with that. This match going for so long for literally no reason has a purpose, but there was no reason for this match to go as long as it was. I disagree with that. I don't like that at all. You know, I would have much preferred to see, like I said, I mean, Chelsea Green is trying to build her match up against Michin, right? Michin has a match coming up later on with Piper Niven. There's some stuff going on with concern with Naomi. I would have probably liked it if you would have came back and maybe talked to her. There's a couple things that you could have got over, yet instead you put all your time and effort into a match that extended past 2 commercial breaks. That's completely unnecessary. And yeah, I understand, and when it was all said and done, like, LA Knight came out, and, you know, and in fact, he came out during the match, and he's the reason why Carmelo Hayes lost or won the match against Andrade. I understand that. You know, after the match, LA Knight looked like he won the handshake. Andrade blew him off. It looks like it's going to be a triple threat match, but I'm not sure. I said the same thing about Naomi, Bayley, and Nia Jackson. That didn't really pan out that way also. But again, this whole thing could have told its own story. You could have done all this in such a short amount of time. This is why I like NXT for. NXT, they make sure to do all the cool and special and fun things in the match when it actually matters, when it actually counts. When it's a match that is just trying to, you know, go forward, it's like 5 or 6 minutes at most. You know what I mean? Like there's no need for having a match this long. I disagree with this. I said the same thing about NXT, about AEW. I'm not going to sit here and pretend as if this match didn't do the exact same thing I would have criticized AEW over. That's bullshit. I don't like that at all. What I did like though is afterwards. This is what I'm talking about. Building up a little bit of story. Then again, I still don't like the approach as far as what they're doing right now with Cody Rhodes. I still wish they would kind of switch it up a little tiny bit, but at least this is somewhat interesting, right? I like this a little bit. Building up the tension between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. I don't know where this is going to go in the end of the day, right? You got Randy Orton playing mediator. You know, him and Kevin are going through whatever they want to do in their match. And then you have Cody Rhodes, who's essentially going to Kevin, and he wants to talk to him about all the events that took place early on. He's essentially saying, hey, I know there's tension between us right now. Can we talk it out? Kevin is telling him, hey, not right now. We kind of have a match that's about to happen in half an hour. Cody's like, yeah, but I mean, let's just talk about it and get it out the open. And Kevin gets frustrated and he stands up and he tells Cody, look, man, I don't want to talk about this right now. Randy calms him down. You know, he tells him, look, we just want to take care of this ourselves. You have your match coming up next week. Just let us handle this. Don't come out there. Don't interfere. And he leaves. And Randy Orton reassures Cody if there's something that's going to happen with the Tongans coming out and interfering in the match, that they're going to probably need his help. And he said he's going to talk to Randy Orton. So there's dissension. You know, it's still a story that's a focal point around the world champion. Just whatever you do in the main event, all I'm asking is for you to at least make it interesting. You know what I mean? Make it intriguing. It was a nice way how they closed out last week, but just give me something to sink my teeth into. This is one of the problems with Roman Reigns being built up to be such a humongous star and now being a part-timer, bruh. This tonight can really use him. Tonight could really use him. And, you know, that doesn't happen to be the case. And that's the problem with how you have Cody Rhodes built up right now, where it's like, honestly, even with the story that's taking place around him, and it's not a bad story necessarily, But when you build Cody Rhodes up to feel somewhat inferior to Roman Reigns, it just feels so out of place. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really feel like we're going into a main event where Cody Rhodes, even though he's the focal point, really matters in the grand scheme of things. Or at least you're not looking towards caring about. You know what I mean? They just need to do a better job as far as giving Cody reasoning. You know, I just want to give a shit about him. I honestly, I want to give a shit about him. And they're presenting him better than what most companies present their world champion as. But it's not enough. Do more to give me reason to want to give a shit about Cody Rhodes. And hopefully by the end of tonight, that will be the case. And I see right now on my television, AJ Styles is going to be back next week. I didn't even know he was gone, to be honest with you. So, you know, good for him. I mean, I don't know, man. Hopefully whatever he stinks his teeth into happens to be good also. You know, they're coming up on Smackdown. I mean, we got a few more months before Smackdown heads over, you know, to be in 3 hours. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. But so far tonight, it's a mixed bag. More negative than positive, if you ask me. But we still got a couple more minutes to go. About 45 more minutes. So hopefully it heats up. Right now we got Mian taking on Piper Niven. So we'll see. See, that sounds like it's a fun show next week. That's going to be a fun-ass show. Damn, bro. That show needs to happen this week right here. God damn, bro. A triple threat ladder match, huh? You know, I'm trying to think. When was the last time I seen a ladder match on TV from the main roster? It's been a minute, hasn't it? I can't remember the last time I seen a ladder match on, at least personally speaking. I'm pretty sure some have happened in between, right? But the last time I seen a ladder match on TV in general, it's probably been like, goddamn, maybe like a year or two. I think I seen, no, not even, no. Oh, you know what? Maybe somewhere on Dynamite, I'm assuming maybe something happened in regards to a ladder match. It's probably been like a couple of years, like 3 or 4 years since I've seen a ladder match. But as far as the main roster is considered, the last time I seen a ladder match, probably that little makeshift Money in the Bank women's ladder match they did back in 2017. I think that's the last time I seen it with the James Ellsworth and Carmella bullshit. And you know, as far as a tag team ladder match, a tag team multi-man ladder match at that. You know what's gonna be crazy? You know what's crazy? The last time I seen a multi-man tag team ladder match from WWE on TV, you know what? Ironically enough, you know when's the last time I seen that match? I don't think it's gonna be up to the date because I think it happened like maybe a week or two before No Mercy. But we're closing in on it. It would have probably been 2002. I'm not even joking. I think the last time I seen a multi-man ladder match on television with the tag team championships on the line, it would have been 2002, the Raw Roulette show that Kane won by himself. Damn, has it really been over 20 years since I seen the tag team ladder match on TV? I guess so. Holy shit, that's crazy. I expect, you know, that's gonna be fun though. You got that. You got the dumpster match with Michin and Chelsea Green. You have AJ Styles returning. I don't know if he's going to come back as a heel. I think the last time I seen him, he was a heel. And then I'm assuming Roman Reigns is going to show up on the show next week. So that's a pretty stacked show for tomorrow. Or next week, Friday, excuse me. And that's going to be the go-home show going into Bad Blood. So that's shaping up to be a really, really cool weekend. Yeah, okay, I fuck with that show. This show right here, though, I'm not really fucking with at all. This Michin match with Piper Niven, it's not as if that was bad. The girls did their thing. They competed well. But again, a commercial break. I would have much preferred to see them talk more about the Naomi stuff. You know what I mean? There's more you can try to get over. Maybe go talk to Andrade, LA Knight, get their thoughts on what just happened in the ring. You know what I mean? I like that they're promoting more of the women. You got 2 women matches tonight. That's good. You know, it seems like you're trying to get Michin prepared for something. You know what I mean? So that's all good. I don't mind that. But you can get more stuff over with vignettes. You can get more stuff over with some talking segments backstage. Not everything has to be match after match after match happening with commercial breaks in between, bruh. You know, like Piper Niven, the finish came with Piper Niven hitting a senton splash towards the barricade, and there was a trash can right there that Chelsea Green brought out. Piper Niven ended up hitting a senton on a senton roll on the trash can that was on the barricade when Michin was right next to us sitting down. And she got back in the ring. I guess Piper never no-sold it because she got back in the ring rather quickly. And then Michin hit her with the eat defeat and then won the match. Again, it wasn't bad. It was just something that was unnecessary to have to go through all these loops and shit like that, when in reality you could have got this match over with just like that and went right into the next segment and gave us something, something a little bit more, something to kind of get your mouth ready, pause. But, we still got the main event coming up in a little bit. We still got a little bit more time. So hopefully, something happens in between now and then that's a little bit more exciting. This show is not exciting at all, though. All right, just quickly noting this because I want to give my undivided attention to the main event, hoping that we can get something out of this, a semblance. They eventually did get around to talking to Naomi. Took them long enough. Bayley confronted her in a nice way, pretty much just trying to see where they lie at right now. She was telling her, hey, this could have been either one of us and Naomi. At first, she seemed overly aggressive. She was telling Bayley, you ain't sorry that you beat me. When Bayley was like, hey, I'm sorry, things went, opposite for you. And Bayley looked kind of nervous, but then Naomi was like, hey, look, if it was me, I would have been just as happy, right? So I get it. You go there, you beat Nia, and then we can run this match back for the championship. And then, Bayley, kind of relieved, and she left. And then while she was walking, Tiffany Stratton came out to mock her. And then Naomi said that, coming up next week, we're going to probably have a match between her and Tiffany Stratton. So another match added on to the show, which is good. Okay, cool. I'm assuming that's going to be some final things we can touch on before we get into the match with, Bayley and Nia Jax rematch from SummerSlam, right? I think they had their match at SummerSlam. So that's fine. Okay. And then you had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill pretty much say that they're going to be the guest hosts for Bad Blood. I could have sworn, didn't they have a match for Bad Blood? I could have sworn. Let me see the Bad Blood card, as a matter of fact. I feel like I only know 2 matches on the entire card, that being Roman and Cody versus the Bloodline and the Hell in a Cell match. Let me see something real quick. Bad Blood 2024. What's the card looking like? Is it still 5 matches? Yeah, it is still 5 matches. So we have Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship. Dominic's going to be in the Shark Cage. Okay. Damian Priest 1-on-1 with Finn Balor. Oh, so they're doing that match already. All right. Nia Jax versus Bayley for the Women's Championship, as we just noted. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match. And Cody Rhodes and Roman versus the Bloodline, which I heard is actually going to main event. So that's very peculiar. I would have definitely done Punk and, well, I'm not even going to say that because it is Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, so I guess it could go either way. Not to mention that they're going to main event the show. I'm expecting some kind of big return. I'm expecting something huge happening. Otherwise, you're not going to main event this over Drew and Punk in a Hell in a Cell when they just had a year-long feud, right? So, the card is shaping up to look pretty good. I like it. And the card next week for SmackDown is shaping up to look pretty good. It's just, man, this show, man, it's just not clicking for me, guys. I don't know. It's just not clicking for me. But, like I said, just a short little interlude just so I can give my undivided attention to the tag team match and give my undivided recording to the tag team match. We got 20 minutes. Hopefully, they deliver, man. Give me something to talk about, because otherwise this was a pretty bad show tonight. But hey, they still got some ways to turn this around and at least give me a cliffhanger. Just give me something to sing. Again, I keep saying that, but give me something. Give me something, bro. Just give me something. All right, that does it for tonight, man. That's it. That's the main event. I would have loved if we would have had enough time to maybe decipher what the fuck just happened here. It would have been nice if we got some type of, notable cliffhanger. This just felt like a cutscene from Universe Mode as far as the match is considered directly afterwards. Man, but this is what happens when you dedicate so much time to the actual match in itself, man. It's like you forget that, we still need time to breathe. We still need time to let some of this stuff resonate. It was like last Monday. I went back to go watch Raw on my downtime. I didn't want to talk about this, but I figured, hey, why the fuck not? We're talking about the main event, and it sort of has the same kind of problem. When Jey Uso won this match against Braun Breaker, and it wasn't even like, 10, 15 seconds after he won the match, they immediately went to the next show. Like, you have this contract with USA Network. You might want to, stop it with so much of the long matches, end the match like 4 or 5 minutes before the show. You know what I mean? Is that really so hard to do? And they do this shit all the time, man, because again, they're so concerned with getting their shit in with these matches, man. It's ridiculous. You don't have an overrun. It's gonna stop dead heat at 10 o'clock. Why play around with that? Man? So you got the match with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. There was a bunch of bullshit going on. The Tongans eventually did come out, as we expected to be the case, right? Cody Rhodes came out not even 30 seconds later. Could have let that breathe a little bit also, but I'm not going to nitpick too much because I got more problems that I want to discuss. Cody Rhodes comes out. He takes out the tag team champions, mind you, by himself. Okay, stretching it, but fine, whatever. Jacob Fatu gets the advantage and he hits a suicide dive on Cody Rhodes. He throws him back in the ring right when Kevin Owens hit the stunner on Solo. Looks like he's going to go for the cover. But when Jacob threw him back in the ring, he threw him on the referee, which kind of rolled his ankle, right? Kevin Owens is like distracted with Cody Rhodes in the ring. He turns around, takes 2 super kicks from Jacob Fatu. Solo Sikoa goes for the cover. He gets the win. Can't tell you the last time I seen a maneuver like that in the match. But like I said, we're not going to nitpick anything. We got more bigger problems. Cody Rhodes cost them the win. I mean, really, it was Jacob Fatu, but I mean, okay, whatever. And then Kevin and Cody, they start to argue with each other. More so Cody, or Kevin, I guess. I mean, I'm assuming the dialogue being said is, I told you to stay in the back, or something on the lines of that, stemming off of what happened earlier. Randy's trying to play mediator. He's telling him to chill the fuck out. And before we can get a resolution, Kevin hugs Cody, and then it goes off the air. Mind you, this all happened within a 2-minute time frame. Between Cody interfering and then them going off the air with all this taking place, 2 minutes. That's all this took, was 2 minutes. This could have breathed a little bit more. There could have been something more we could have talked about. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about. They put too much emphasis on the in-ring action, and they do this shit all the fucking time, bruh. Stop putting so much emphasis on the in-ring action so you don't go over your time. The match in itself is not important. The match is just there to get us to what I would assume would be what we want to see, which is the development of the story in itself. And you waste so much time doing this match. It's the main event, I get it, but it was nothing as if we were coming into this to be excited about. And you wasted so much time, and what happened? Your main story, nothing of worth came out of it. Nothing of worth came out of it whatsoever. It would have been nice for Randy Orton to maybe, at the very least, would have looked at Kevin like, okay, I see what you mean. Let's leave the ring. It could have been something with Kevin leaving the ring and, Cody standing there in disbelief, and maybe, I don't know, something. This just seems so stale and so simple. We didn't get this back in the days, man. It wasn't like this back in the days. So many twists and turns and so many cliffhangers, so much promise and reasoning to want to watch the show next week. And don't get it twisted. Next week's show looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch next week's show. But hell, I can't tell you that I want to watch it because of what happened tonight. See, this is the problem, man. Look, Triple H, he has a problem, man. We need to talk about it. I know we're going to get some WWE fanboys who they don't want to hear it. They're okay with me shitting on AEW every day, but once you tell them the truth about what's currently going on in WWE, they want to plug their ears and say that all you do is complain and yada, 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 yada. That's fine, man. You can say whatever you want to say, because I'm going to say what I want to say right now. And this shit right here, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. Even on Raw, albeit it's getting better from a product standpoint, even Raw to a certain degree, it's getting better. Notice what I'm saying. It's getting better. But there's still so many problems plaguing these shows, and it has more to do with the wrestling. He's taken more and more of this Tony Khan mentality of overemphasizing on the wrestling more so than what the story in itself needs, man. I don't come to a show to want to see wrestling all the time. And honestly, I would have thought that Triple H would have been a hell of a lot better than this. When it goes off the air, it shows you the credits now, right? It's another guy named Lee something, and then it's Triple H directly over his name, so he's the one that's producing these shows. He's the head of creative. He should know better right about now. And I get it. In the end of the day, my opinion means jack shit to anybody, man. It means jack shit. But I'm telling you, this right here is why they're lagging in the viewership numbers, man. This right here is why they're lagging in the ratings overall. They can be at 2 million views still. Why not? They can still definitely be at 2 million views. It's the creative. I had a bunch of arguments today with people in the comment section on the last video stemming off of this issue. You can't sit here and talk shit about AEW and notate that it's the creative that's wrong with it, but then bring in all these other extra bullshit when never having to distract from the issue that's playing in WWE, when it's the exact same issue that's playing in WWE that's plaguing AEW at the moment. They do too much of the fucking wrestling, way too much. We got 3 matches that I can notate, really 4 if you count the main event, but the main event I can understand. But we got 3 matches outside of the main event that had commercial breaks that did not need it. They did not need it. The women's match did not need a commercial break as far as the Naomi and Bayley match, or the match between Mia Yim and Piper Niven. Neither of those matches needed a commercial break. You gave us 2 commercial breaks with Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Does there come a point in time where we have to look at that and say to ourselves, well, fuck, that kind of comes off sort of kind of lazy? No. It kind of seems like you're just kind of filling the void, you're filling the time just to get to the next segment. It feels like you're filling all this time just to say that, hey, we filled our quota as far as getting the show over with. I don't want to sit through a show where all you're trying to do is do what your contract stipulated, which is get 2 hours of programming in. I'm not here to sit through a show just to watch commercial breaks, to come back to see more wrestling and go to the commercial break and get very minimal storytelling. There was not a lot of storytelling happening in this match. Those 3 segments that you got out of Cody and Kevin and Randy, as far as how they built it up in the locker room in the middle of the show, the opener and the main event. Now, granted, like I said, priorities, I will give them credit where credit is due. The priority was always around Cody Rhodes, who is your world champion. I do appreciate that. That's a good thing. That's kind of what deciphers them between, AEW and WWE, that they at the very least focuses on their world champion, at least Smackdown, at least Cody Rhodes. But that doesn't excuse the fact that the content that you're using in order to portray Cody Rhodes in this entire bloodline angle is running its course, man. It's passé. And I get it. 1 minute the bloodline could be at a peak. It could be right here at the very, very tippy top, where it's some of the best storyline that you've ever seen in professional wrestling history, right? One of, not the, but one of. And then there's times when they're at their lowest, they are at their lowest. And I don't know what to tell you, man. They need to do better. This show could have really used the Roman Reigns, but I get it. His contract stipulated him not to be there, but it's not to still notate the fact that it could have definitely used him. And I see all these WWE fanboys, they come through and they make up all these excuses. Oh, this, as far as the TV contract is considered. Oh, they're making head and fee and they're still doing great regardless of my opinion. Look, bro, I don't give a shit. I notate the statistics in order to prove a point, in order to coincide with my opinion. That still doesn't take away the fact that the show is still shit. You using outside factors in order to make up the fact that, hey, this is still a good show, has nothing to do with the show objectively being fucking terrible. There's no way you can sit through this show and tell me that this was a good show. How? In what way? What way? What? What, the talking segments that led to nothing? The lack of a cliffhanger? The boring matches that took place throughout the night with little to nothing of substance coming out of it? What the fuck happened on this show that was so fucking great? Am I missing something? Am I losing my fucking mind here? But what, I'm supposed to just say good things about them because AEW is bad? No, that's fucking horrible. That's a terrible mindset. Look. Because I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. There's no avoiding this. But it has to be said, man. Triple H doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He really doesn't. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I will always admire Triple H as a wrestler. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He's my childhood. I love Triple H as a wrestler. And he wasn't even that bad with the black and gold stuff on NXT. But man, ever since he's taken over the creator for WWE, it's a roller coaster. And mind you, that roller coaster, it's more downs than there are ups. Like I said, man, next week's programming is looking promising. And that's something to look forward to. Bad Blood, I like the card. But this show, man, and recent shows that I've been seeing overall, stop focusing on the wrestling so much. I say this about Tony Khan. I say this about AEW. Let them do that shit. Let them overemphasize on the wrestling. You're WWE. You're supposed to be different, man. Now you're turning more into AEW week in, week out, man. Week in, week out. Just more and more wrestling. Less emphasis told about the story in itself. I hate that, man. I don't like that mindset at all. It is what it is, man. The show was bad. This was a bad show. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Come at me, man. I don't care, bro. Give me all the ad hominems. Give me all the criticisms in the world. Devontae, you complain too much. Yeah, of course. I complain too much when it's about WWE. Let it would have been AEW, though. Everybody would have been all up in everybody. Yeah, Devontae. Yeah, fuck Tony Khan. Yeah. Okay, cool. Fuck Tony Khan. I agree. And also fuck Triple H. If this is what he's gonna keep giving us, fuck him too. Keep it copacetic and keep it consistent. You can't just say one side, which is doing the exact same thing as the other side, is good, yet the other side is bad. You fuck up your own credibility doing shit like that, man. But it is what it is, man. Y'all have that conversation down in the comment section below. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces, P, Ice.